You're listening to a special AI-powered training session generated based on my original research and training documents. While the voices you are about to hear are AI-generated, the insights come directly from my verified material.
Welcome to the Epoch Zero Show. Today, we are unpacking Module 1.1, Defining AI, Scope and Boundaries. We're starting where most people get lost, the definition itself. You see, if you don't understand the boundaries of what AI is and what it isn't, you simply cannot lead effectively. So here's our map for today. First, we're going to look at the 4 historical ideas that compete to define AI. This is where most of the confusion comes from. Then we will zero in on the one modern paradigm that actually drives the field. After that, we'll separate the hype from reality, strong versus narrow AI. And finally, we'll look under the hood at the 2 fundamental ways these systems are actually built. You have to understand that AI isn't one single idea. It's more like a family of 4 distinct philosophies, all competing with each other. For a leader, knowing which one you're dealing with is the first step to avoiding very expensive mistakes. The easiest way to grasp this is with a simple grid. You have 2 big questions. One axis asks, is the goal to act humanly or to act rationally? And let me tell you, those are very different things. The other axis asks, are we focused on the internal thought process or just the external observable action? This framework gives us the 4 big schools of thought. The first quadrant is about thinking humanly. This is cognitive modeling. It's a fascinating scientific quest to build a machine that thinks just like a person does, flaws and all. It's great for psychology, but as an engineering approach, it's a dead end. We're not here to replicate human biases. We're here to solve problems. The second approach is acting humanly. You know this one. It's the Turing test. But let's be really clear here. The Turing test is not a test of intelligence. It's a test of deception. The goal is to fool a human into thinking they're talking to another human. It's about imitation, not capability. The third path is thinking rationally. This is the laws of thought approach. It's an attempt to build intelligence using pure formal logic. Think of it as codifying reason itself. The problem? Well, the real world is messy and uncertain. Pure logic is brittle, and it shatters the moment it faces ambiguity. Which brings us to the 4th quadrant, the one that won, the modern dominant paradigm, acting rationally. This approach threw out the obsession with being human. It focused on one thing and one thing only: being effective. As a leader, your entire world is right here. This rational agent framework, this is the operational core of modern applied AI. This is what you will build and what you will deploy. This is our working definition. Burn it into your memory. It's precise, it's engineering focused, it's not about consciousness or feelings, it's about systems that perceive, act, and optimize toward a goal. This is an engineering specification. Let's just break it down. An agent is the system itself. It perceives its environment, using sensors, data feeds, whatever. It then acts on that environment. And its entire purpose is to take actions that maximize its chances of success, to make the best possible decisions to achieve a goal you have specified. Okay, with that clear definition in hand, we can now cut through the biggest source of confusion in the entire market, the difference between strong AI and narrow AI. Strong AI, or artificial general intelligence, AGI, that's the hypothetical goal of a machine with human-level intelligence across the board. On the other hand, narrow AI is the reality. These are specialized systems that are absolutely superhuman at one specific task, but they can't generalize. This distinction is crucial. So let me be perfectly clear about this. You're going to hear a lot of marketing claims, but as of today, the number of true verified AGI systems in existence is 0, period. But here's the thing. Narrow does not mean useless. In fact, almost all of the current business value being created by AI today comes from these highly specialized narrow systems. Specialization is where the power is. So finally, we have to understand the 2 fundamental ways to actually build these agents. Think of it as the 2 main engines of AI, the symbolic approach and the connectionist approach. You can think of these as 2 different philosophies. Symbolic AI represents knowledge with explicit rules and logic. It's like a legal code. Connectionism, on the other hand, allows knowledge to emerge from patterns and data. It's more like intuition. Each has critical trade-offs you need to understand. The symbolic approach is great because it's interpretable. You can look at the rules. But it's brittle. If it runs into a situation that's not covered by a rule, it just breaks. And manually programming all those rules is incredibly slow. This is the knowledge bottleneck. Now, the connectionist approach is much more robust. It learns from data. But its great weakness is that it's a black box. It's very difficult to understand why it made a specific decision. And it's incredibly data hungry. It needs massive amounts of training data to perform well. So, this is the strategic reality. Your role as a leader is to deploy rational, narrow agents to solve valuable problems. And in doing so, you have to understand the core trade-off, the choice between systems that are interpretable and systems that are driven by data. That is the foundation.